So the movie Persona, I watched that movie. I believe it was like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. Um, it um the fact that someone took their life over this test, or excuse me, assessment. And I already knew about the back history of it. Well, some of the back history of it. Um, I knew about the discriminatory back history of it, but to know that it came from a mother and daughter who was sitting around being idle, doing nothing, decided to come up with a test. But the movie was thought provoking. And it's like this test just, and I mean, it's still being used, but this test, this assessment, you would think came from someone in the field. No, it comes from somebody who was sitting home doing nothing. And the fact that they're still using this assessment is still in use. It's still in use. It's like she didn't have no degree. She hadn't stepped foot onto, not now, university campus, but she out here coming up with tests. The mama, I'm talking about the mama, not the daughter. I think the daughter eventually, took over and everything. I don't know. But still. Anywho. Okay. This test in the movie, has literally been weaponized against. It's not even just minorities, because Kyle, he's not a minority. Kyle is Caucasian. So, in all actuality, the assessment is weaponized against even their own. It's something how you can weaponize something, create and use something to discriminate against these 5 people over here, and it turns around and it bites you in the butt, and you realize you have discriminated against your own self. Like, she wouldn't even be able to get a job. The mom or the daughter, they would not be able to work because of the test, because of the assessment. Like, if she were alive today, trying to work, and that assessment came up, I don't think she would pass. I don't think neither one of them. Personality test, please. Sitting around studying babies. Leave your babies alone. Let them be babies. So, anyway, Kyle, that was just the saddest thing. I wasn't even expecting that. Like, you get to the end of it, and you find out one of the first people you meet, he's taking his life. So, And I want to say he was his parents' only child. Child trying to get a job. We was trying to get a job at Kroger, something like that. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. But yeah, one of the most heartbreaking stories in the film is that of Kyle, a young man whose life was profoundly affected when the personality test was used to unfairly judge his worth. And I'm talking about Kyle had a college degree, I want to say. Yeah, I think they say he went to college. Or he had a background. He just didn't have some old penny ante background. Like he had a background in, what was it? Oh man, I forget. But anywho, Kyle struggled with mental health issues, and his results on certain assessments were misused by some professionals to dismiss or stigmatize his experiences. I mean, he was being honest. He didn't know what was going on. Kyle had no clue. And I'm pretty sure anyone in his position would say the same thing. They had no clue. They were just answering the questions on the test. Well, on the assessment. The application, on the application. Results on his assessment were misused. Yeah, his story ends sadly. He took his own life, a devastating reminder of how because flawed people sit around and study their little flawed children. Listen, let me get through this. Okay, the film humanizes the faces behind these stories, emphasizing that these tests aren't just numbers or scores. They represent real people with hopes, fears, and lives worth respecting. It challenges us to think critically about how we use counselors, therapists, how we use assessments, advocating for honesty, humility, and social justice, in our society. You can't just be out here assessing folks. They don't know they're being assessed. You shouldn't be assessing nobody anyway. In social justice, in society, in our work, as mental health professionals. Okay. I know I won't be using no assessment, weaponizing an assessment. I'm a veteran. Trust me, I fill out, what is it? I have to do an assessment every time I go to the VA. So I'm on the side of Kyle. Not Mary Ruth and them sitting at the house assessing children, assessing babies. Hey, some nerve. And to the people that's still using the test, using the assessment, go on somewhere. Okay, that's my spiel. That's my reflection about persona. And the people that couldn't find a job, they in a class like a work study type, not work study, but the people that were trying to get a job, and I guess they had to go to this class, and this class, the guy in New York, the black guy, he would help them get a job. And out of all them people, only one person, they show one person called him and said, hey, I got a job. And I don't know how much it cost. I think he was like a something in a building. I, I don't know. When he said the name, I was just like, well, maybe they pay good. That's something that they have in New York. Down here, ain't nobody doing what you doing. Not in the South. But yeah, the people trying to get a job. The man trying to help him get a job. What else? Yeah, it was the people trying to get a job. Kyle. And then the family, the people who made up the test. Listen now. Then the family, they're on the film talking about the creators of the test. Their grandma and everything. And they're just like, we found out that this test is just very racist. Oh my gosh. I mean, you know what? I wonder at times, do God just sit up in heaven and just get tickled? Do God get tickled at us? Because, I mean, for some of us, well, all of us, we have allowed Satan to come in at some time in our life. For some, it's an everyday thing. Satan can visit them. They do not care. Not me, I care. I want to do the Lord just sit up in heaven and just get so tickled at how foolish we can be, how foolish some of us are. Just, okay. Come on, thing.